Hey guys, what's up? GreenMachineSam back with another video, and today we have another Madden 24 roster update guide. So I'm going to show you guys how to download it and all that fun stuff. And let's get into a couple key parts of the roster. First and foremost, this is a PS5 exclusive roster. Sorry to anybody that is on Xbox or PC. I figured that the PC modding community probably does a well enough job on their roster, and they probably have more tools to create an even better roster. So I would suggest probably learning how to mod if you're playing on PC. And then Xbox, I know last year with a couple talks, just comments between me and a couple of the Xbox creators from different people's channels was, them being on Xbox, me being on PlayStation. I know there's probably some decent players out there that create rosters on Xbox, so go find their channels. I think it's Vic, maybe, that does Xbox. I know he did Xbox last year, so go try to find some of their content, if anything. I do want to give a shout out to NFL Jersey Numbers on Twitter. He's been a big help. Just his Twitter page, of course, has been a big help. Me being able to see people's jersey numbers as they are announced or released onto team websites and stuff. So that has been a big help as well. And then, of course, there is going to be questions about certain stuff. No, I cannot change dev trace. No, I cannot change contract numbers, whether it's years or money. I can determine years based off of overalls, and I can work around that type of stuff to make the contract years correct at minimum. For the most part, anything above 4 years I cannot do. So if you guys didn't know, in Madden, you can, when you put a player in free agency, their overall determines both their years that they're getting and their money. So anything from 59 and below is a 1-year deal. Anything 60 to 74 is a 2-year deal. And anything 75 and above is a 3-year deal. That's the most you can do is 3 years as well. So any player that signs a 4-year deal, Christian Wilkins, I think Josh Jacobs signed a 4-year, if I remember correctly. Those type of guys, I cannot get that 4th year. Unfortunately, that is something I cannot do. And of course, money is determined based off of overall. It's just something EA doesn't allow us to do. They don't allow us to touch age, dev trait, experience. They don't allow us to touch contract numbers. You can do all that stuff once you hop into franchise, and that's something that I'll address later in one of my wish lists that I would like to get going. I do want to get one of those out probably before or after the draft sometime then. I know a lot of stuff for Madden is normally finalized, and they're just mainly working on the game itself and getting bugs out by the time June and stuff rolls around, I would assume. But let's get into things, and I'll show you guys what exactly I'm working on, what I have done, and all that fun stuff. So first and foremost, you do want to head over to Creation Center and go to Share and Manage Files. One thing I will say, you do have to go download the roster anytime you want to have the updated roster. That is something that I do forget to mention every now and then. You do have to go download it, and good news is we are officially the top up-to-date off-season roster, and we are on the front page. We are on page 1 of the community files. We are actually we are the first normal roster on the board now for PS5. I've gotten a lot of your guys' comments, both through PlayStation and through YouTube comments. I even had some people say stuff on Twitter. I appreciate the support. I really do. It means the world when you guys enjoy the roster. Like I've said before, if you guys have never heard this from me, I used to make these rosters for myself, and I wouldn't upload them. Granted, early in my life I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I couldn't do anything with that. But I had a friend that told me, hey, you should put these out, because they wanted to also download them. And then he was like, hey, if you put these out, other people will probably download them as well and will enjoy the roster. So you guys do see my name, GreenMachineSam, created by GreenMachineSam. It does get updated at minimum 1 time a day. There are some days where I don't get it updated twice or even 3 times. And it all depends on, free agency and stuff, right? If there's not much going on, or if it's a bottom of the barrel guy, no offense to these guys, like I've said before, they're in the NFL. They're doing something that I wish I could be doing, which is be playing in the NFL. So no disrespect to them, but they are a bottom of the barrel guy for the NFL, at least. So if it's like a potential, like he's going to be fighting for even a practice squad spot, gets signed and there's nothing really else going on, I'm probably not going to update the roster. I have other games that I want to play. MLB just came out. The new season on Rainbow just dropped. I'm still playing Helldivers. I'm playing all these different games. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So if it's not a roster update that I want to get pushed out entirely, whether it's going to change somebody's franchise or not, I may not do it right away, but it's going to get updated at least once in the day. Now, will that be, 3 a.m. when I get off, work or whatever? Maybe. Or is it, 9 p.m. at night? It'll just be determined. But as free agency does slow down, there'll be less videos coming out. And, of course, roster updates. Like I said, I'm going to hope to get at least one a day up until the point where it's basically free agency is dead. That 2 week before the draft is normally when that finally gets killed off. I think this is the best roster on the market that you can go download. Now, of course, if for some reason you don't want to download the one that has all the downloads, you can go download the other one. It's just called Madden 24 roster update. I've noticed every time I've updated these rosters, the one that has the next year's game title, so like Madden 25, Madden 24, all this different things, tend to do well. These are both the same rosters. The descriptions are a little bit different, just depending on who I remember to put in and stuff in the description. JF1 trade, Josh Dobbs to San Fran, Mike Williams to New York Jets, Mike Edwards to Buffalo. That's one of the latest ones. JF1 to Pittsburgh, Alexander Madison to Las Vegas, Chase Young to New Orleans, Josh Dobbs to San Fran. But they're both the same roster. They both have the same qualities and stuff and all that fun stuff. Next thing you have to do, and this is something that a lot of people forget, is load the roster. So you guys want to go ahead and go load the roster. You have to load the roster whether you're going into play now, starting a new franchise, or looking at the roster itself. You have to load the roster no matter what. Play now, you don't have to do anything once you load the roster. You should be able to go in and play games right away. Now, of course, you can't play online. Madden doesn't allow that feature. I don't even think 2K allows that feature. So it's kind of across the board there. But all you can do is go into play now, and you will see, of course, DeAndre Swift. You also have to go into custom game, by the way, if you didn't know that. You have to go into play now, custom game, and then boom, the roster's there. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift. Nobody on the lines have changed, but, Josh Jacobs here. You have Shaq Thompson moving all the way up because the Panthers don't really have a whole ton of talent going on right now. Christian Wilkins to the Raiders. Derrick Henry to the Ravens. Chase Young to the Saints. All this and that. One thing I will say is, like I've said before, I am using, a Twitter page called NFL Jersey Numbers. They're doing an excellent job, and it's helping me keep up to date. Is anytime a jersey number for a player is announced or something, I go ahead and go down the list, and I just continuously change jersey numbers for people. Now, of course, there's certain things that happen, right? Keenan Allen hasn't officially bought 13, but I gave it to him anyway. Now there's going to be a discussion of whether or not Caleb Williams or Keenan Allen get it from Tyler Scott, because I would assume one of them will be willing to pay for the number 13, all that fun stuff. And of course, with that being said, I don't know what, of course, a guy like Tyler Scott would wear, so I just gave him his college jersey number 21. It's kind of weird for a receiver, but, Sky Moore, Devin Hester, all that fun stuff. I gave them their jersey numbers. Of course, there are some things that aren't going to be correct. Future reserve contract players, of course, is a big one. Those guys sometimes don't get jersey numbers. They just don't. They don't get jersey numbers at all. So some of those guys won't have active jersey numbers on the team websites, but I just have to give them a random one at some point. So they might have a different jersey number. A couple you might not have known about is Deontay Banks going to 3, Garrett Wilson going to 5. Somebody actually pointed that out in one of the comments. Thank you for that. As well as Chris Olave going to number 2. There were a couple others that I should probably go over. Lou Henley getting a new number, Hendon Hooker, Jarrett Stidham, Will Lutz, Demario Douglas on the Patriots, a couple D linemen on the Cardinals, all types of fun stuff. Everybody's picking out their jersey numbers. Like I said, some jersey numbers may not be correct for a little bit, so if you want to go ahead and change them, if you see somebody's jersey number that may not be correct, go ahead and let me know down below. If somebody signs, gets released, traded, anything like that as well, and you know that they're not supposed to be on the team, let me know. I will say one thing, though. If you see a player that is a super low overall, I'm talking 60 and below on a team that isn't supposed to be there, he's probably there for a reason. It's probably because of positional requirements. One thing I will show you guys is on the Cardinals right now. I know there's at least 2 D linemen that aren't supposed to be there. Both Phil Hoskins, I think, isn't supposed to be here, and Jonathan Ledbetter. Both those guys are not supposed to be there, but they only have this many D linemen. It's kind of hard to release them because of positional requirements. I'll show you what I mean. Jonathan Ledbetter, I cannot release because it would put the roster's minimum positions, roster minimum, here, I'm just going to see it again. It'll put the teams below the roster's minimum requirements and stuff like that. So on certain positions, on certain teams, that's definitely going to be the case. I know like the Raiders and I think it's the Cowboys also have that same problem on the O-line. I did go ahead and move some players amongst the O-lines depending on how I think they're going to shape out. I think now that Tyler Smith will be in his third year, Tyron Smith is gone, I think that he's going to slide out to left tackle. I think that's always been the plan. 6'6", 332. They're going to give Asim Richards a start. TJ Brass was like the only other quality backup that they have. They have Josh Ball and they have the other tackle, Matt. But I think TJ Brass is the only guy that can slide over to center right now, so I'm going to move him to center for now. Of course, and one thing I will say is just because somebody did get signed as a future reserve contract doesn't mean I can find them in Madden. Not that I can't find them. They may not be in Madden for various different reasons, whether or not they played in the NFL the last year or so. There's some future reserve contract players that would have been super low overalls that aren't in Madden. And no offense, I'm not going to waste a create a player spot on one of those guys for right now. Or some of these low age players. I'm not going to waste those spots when I do have hit the create a player limit during the draft. I want to keep some of those players so I can get some of the more notable 7th, 6th, 7th, and undrafted guys started and all that fun stuff. I think, like I said, this is a very good roster. Of course, there's little tiny stuff that I can't get correct, right? If a jersey number isn't released right away, or if a player doesn't pick out a jersey number for a while, I can't do anything about that. I'll just give them whatever I think suits them best. Like I said, future reserve contract players, there's different things with them. Some of them won't get a jersey number. Some of them will. It just depends on the team entirely. All that fun stuff. I do have to move players' positions around based on team needs and stuff as well. Now, I'm not making it super unrealistic, right? If the Eagles needed a left outside linebacker, I'm not moving Brandon Graham to left outside linebacker. That's not what I'm doing. But if they have, 3 middle linebackers and they need a left outside linebacker so I can release this guy, I'm going to release that guy and move the middle linebacker over. All that fun stuff. So, of course, there are some changes that will be needed to be made and stuff, all that fun stuff. Another thing I cannot do is, let's say a team like the Panthers, who ran a 3-4 last year. I don't know exactly what their coach is running this year, so don't quote me. But let's say they decide that they're running a 4-3. I'm not going to actively move all the players into what should be a 4-3 when I can't change the scheme. And then if I don't play as the Panthers, their scheme is going to be fucked up and I won't be able to help fix it. Then they'll be running a 3-4, they'll be running a 3-4 scheme with a 4-3 layout of players, right? So there is that. So any of the old schemes from Madden 23 I cannot change, which is a problem. And like I said, I can't change dev traits, I can't change age or contract numbers for the most part, or experience, all that fun stuff. So there is some stuff that is wrong with the roster, I'll say that, but it's not stuff that I can actively go change or fix in any way, shape, or form. Some of that stuff, if you guys really want to care about it, if you guys really want to go change it, you're going to have to go change it on your own in franchise when you do download the roster and start up your franchise and all that fun stuff. Like I said, it's a very good roster. Players are on the correct team for the most part. I think I've gotten everybody up to date. Of course, just because a player signs doesn't mean there's going to be an update right away. Just because there's not a video doesn't mean there's not going to be an update. All that fun stuff. It's a very good roster. Trust me. Go check it out. If you guys have any complaints, comments, concerns about the roster, whether it's the jersey number being incorrect, a player not being on a correct team, player not supposed to be on a team, all that fun stuff, let me know down below. A big one, of course, is kickers and punters right now as well. Somebody tried to ask me about that. Positional requirements again. I can't move them unless somebody else signs there. If they do sign, I'll probably just end up trading kickers to that team. So this free agent kicker will go here. This dude that signed to this team will go to the team that he signed with. All that fun stuff. There's still a lot of free agency left, so there's still going to be plenty of updates and all that fun stuff. If you guys do want to stick around and subscribe, that would mean the world to me. Like I said, I do appreciate the support that you guys have shown on the channel, both with the videos and the roster and all that fun stuff. I do hope you guys do stick around for the draft content, all that fun stuff. I do have some plans, hopefully, and I'll have even more content related to the draft as we approach, especially regarding the roster and how I'm handling the draft this year in terms of overalls and other things that we are going to go over in a future video. I haven't ironed out everything, but there's a ton to come to the roster still. Like I said, I'm up to date on what has currently happened as of 9 p.m. on the 20th of March, 2024. Of course, if you're watching this video, I'm going to probably get this out the 21st of March. I'm hoping to get it out around noon or 2 p.m. So if you're watching it on the 21st and somebody has signed, don't worry, there might be an update out, or just wait. Of course, I can't get these videos out super fast. I do have to render them, get them posted to YouTube, get them checked, get the 4K versions all up to date, all the highest quality versions I can possibly have, all that fun stuff. But like I said, if you guys do enjoy this content, I would appreciate it if you guys do stick around and subscribe. I'll be back with more videos like this. I have more Tennessee Titans franchise videos coming out as well, rebuilds, all that fun stuff coming out to the channel here over the next couple months, and then possibly even in July we'll take a look at the NCAA football game. Like I said, I do appreciate your guys' support, but with that being said, I'm out. Peace.